It all started with the goats, sir. More precisely, the coyotes eyeing my goats. What began as a simple rural annoyance spiraled into a wildfire evacuation across 3 counties, a viral scandal that lit up the internet, and Margaret Maggie Caldwell me streets most feared dictator crashing a U-Haul stuffed with stolen neighborhood garden gnomes into a koi pond while trying to escape. And it all traced back to one thing. I built a siren. I never meant for it to unleash pandemonium or send the whole town into a tailspin. It was just a homemade contraption of Frankenstein's monster of a scrapped weather station, a pair of ancient air raid horns, and a beat-up CB radio I scavenged from a junkyard. I called it the Coyote Chaser. My daughter, Lily, 15 and sharp as a tack, dubbed it Dad's midlife crisis with a volume knob. But damn if it didn't work. When those coyotes came sniffing around my little herd, I'd flip the switch, and a sound like a banshee riding a thunderstorm would rip through the night. The coyotes bolted, the goats settled, and my scrappy patch of land on the edge of town stayed peaceful. For a while, anyway. Then Maggie Caldwell got involved. Maggie wasn't just the president of the Pinecrest Homeowners Association. She was a suburban tyrant, a master of passive-aggressive warfare who wielded violation notices like throwing knives. She despised my siren. My ranch sits just outside the HOA's official boundary, where tidy lawns give way to dusty scrubland, legal no-man's land. But Maggie swore her rules extended to anything she could hear, clutching her fancy Amazon decibel meter and quoting some obscure clause about the peaceful enjoyment of the shared environment. I'd point out that coyotes ripping into goats made more noise than my siren ever did, but she didn't care. She unleashed her enforcer, Carl Dixon, on me. Carl wasn't a real cop, just Maggie's HOA lackey, a guy who strutted around in mirrored aviators and cargo shorts like he was auditioning for a low-budget action flick. He'd find people for aggressive paint tones on their shutters and once tried to tow a kid's tricycle for unauthorized parking. One Wednesday, I was knee-deep in mud, wrestling with a busted irrigation pipe near the goat pen, when I looked up to see Carl on my porch, standing there like a knockoff soldier. Lily was in the driveway, filming him with her phone, narrating in a deadpan voice. And here we observe the HOA enforcer in his natural habitat, preparing to assert dominance. Carl waved a crumpled form under the Pinecrest HOA noise ordinance. "I'm confiscating your illegal alarm," he barked. "Got a warrant?" "Maggie's authority," he said, puffing out his chest. "She doesn't own this land." I shot back, wiping mud off my hands. "I'll call the sheriff. I was deputy in '02. I lied, hoping to rattle him. "Fought wildfires bigger than your ego." He didn't blink, just marched to the gate, unbolted the siren from its perch, and hauled it off in his dusty SUV. I figured that was the end of it. I'd stew, Lily would post a video on TikTok with some snarky caption, and we'd move on. But Carl couldn't leave well enough alone. I'd rigged the siren with motion and heat sensors to detect big animals, coyotes, mostly. A little too clever for Carl's pea-brain. That night, he dragged it to the HOA clubhouse, plugged it in, doused it with a bottle of neon blue Gatorade, and accidentally flipped it into emergency mode. At 8:03 p.m., a sound like the end of the world tore through Pinecrest. Birds slammed into windows, dogs lost their minds, and hikers up on Whispering Ridge thought it was a wildfire alert, pinging emergency satellites. Helicopters took off, winds kicked up a real spark in the canyon, and suddenly 3 counties were under chaotic evacuation orders. By sunrise, Channel 9 had a news van parked on my lawn. A reporter in a blazer shoved a mic in my face. How does it feel to ignite the Maggie blaze? That's what the internet was calling it, thanks to Lily's video hitting 3 million views with the caption, "When HOA power trips end in fire." Maggie lost it, blamed me, claimed I'd booby-trapped the siren, and called an emergency HOA meeting to have me banished as a neighborhood threat. "I'm not even in your HOA." I shouted at her across the room. Didn't matter. She dug her manicured nails in deeper, labeling me a sonic terrorist and insisting my goats needed permits. Lily, sly as ever, started digging through old HOA files online, hinting at secrets she'd uncovered. But 2 nights later, the siren went off again, still stashed at the clubhouse where Carl had left it. At 2:14 a.m., fire trucks, ambulances, and even a Coast Guard chopper descended on us. My barn camera caught the culprits, a pack of coyotes, tripping the sensors on purpose, sitting there smugly as chaos erupted. This wasn't about goats anymore. It was a full-on war. The next morning, I stood on my porch in a bathrobe, coffee gone cold, a news drone buzzing overhead. My phone wouldn't stop pinging friends, strangers, some indie filmmaker, even a Netflix scout. Lily set up Siren Gate HQ at a folding table in the garage, my old park ranger hat perched on her head for flair. By noon, Maggie Blaze was trending, with memes of her clutching flaming rulebooks and a dubstep remix of the siren looping online. Maggie holed up in the clubhouse, her minivan plastered with live, laugh, lawn decals roaring in with binders, a gavel, and a tray of rage-baked muffins. Her plan: pin it all on me, destroy the siren, and reclaim her petty empire. She didn't count on Lily's cunning or Ethan Ramsey, our eccentric neighbor. Ethan, a YouTuber with 400,000 subscribers, had a vendetta against the HOA, calling them suburban puppet masters. He'd filmed Carl dragging the siren into the clubhouse and roasting marshmallows over dry brush during a fire warning. Lily wove it into Operation Blame Flip, pairing Ethan's footage with weather reports and leaked HOA emails proving Carl started the fire. Maggie's press conference tanked her line about destabilized coyote populations, got laughs, and Carl bailed when a reporter asked about the marshmallows. Then Riley Parker showed UPA scruffy drifter in a coat patched with tire treads, claiming he could speak coyote and calling them guardians of the wild. I rolled my eyes, but Lily was all in. Maggie called the cops. They hung up on her. Riley said the siren threw off the coyotes' mating calls and begged to camp out and observe. Lily convinced me, and he bunked by the shed, whistling strange, haunting melodies. At midnight, coyotes lined the fence, not hunting, just watching. Riley grinned. Balance, he said. The next day, Lily uncovered an HOA slush fund 1,000 skimmed for koi pond lights and Zen maintenance. Embezzlement, she whispered, texting a journalist friend. But the siren blared again, still chained at the clubhouse, untouched. The town freak choppers flew, no fire this time, just two lost hikers stumbling out of the woods, saved by the noise. Hero or menace? Maggie tried to take credit, spinning some nonsense about maternal instinct. Lily countered with the rescue story and the fun proof online. Boom. By morning, reporters, an auditor, and Ethan swarmed Maggie's house. She hid. Riley listened from the ridge, muttering, "They never leave," about the coyotes. Pinecrest split half, wanted me gone, half wanted me mayor. All I wanted was safe goats. After the hikers praised the siren, Maggie's cronies misses. Evelyn Harper, Leonard Miles, and June Carter abandoned her, muttering excuses. Cornered, she called a standards hearing, a Saturday showdown in the clubhouse yard. Chairs out. Mic's up. Her in a sash like some HOA queen. Half the town showed for drama, half for popcorn. I sat with Lily, Ethan, and Riley Feather in my hat, reeking of sage tea. Maggie's PowerPoint titled Noise Versus. Harmony flopped. Fake charts, snarling coyote stock photos, a siren clip. No applause. I stood, no notes, just facts. The siren protected my goats, Carl stole it, sparked the fire. Lily played her exposed Carl's campfire, Maggie siphoned funds, her hauling gnome crates, a hot mic ran about useless mutts. Gasps. Carl confessed the fire was an accident. Chaos exploded. Maggie bolted, keys slipping, then peeled out of a shed in a U-Haul. Gnomes clattering, plastic flamingos flapping behind. Ethan's drone chased her final ride as she skidded into the koi pond. Gnomes sank. She flailed in green slime, mascara running as cops cuffed her. The HOA collapsed, fast clubhouse shuttered. Carl demoted to dog park cleanup, Lily interning a news outlet. Ethan doke about. Riley vanished, leaving a note. Listen for the howl. Neighbors apologized. The siren became a sculpture gold-painted, goat plushies piled at its base. Peace held, until the wind shifted. Goats bunched up, chickens fidgeted, silence stretched, no birds, no bugs. Riley's words, "You'll know," when rang in my head. Lily's ridge cam caught it. A dozen coyotes, led by a scarred, one-eyed alpha, staring down. Night after night, they edged closer, silent, coordinated. Operation Goat Shield, kicked off fences reinforced, lights rigged, siren rewired with new sensors. Lily's garage, HQ buzz cameras, Ethan's drone, Maggie 2.0 jokes. At 2 a.m., sensors lit up. Coyotes circled, testing us. I hovered over the trigger, but Alpha paced, ears up. A flute sounded low, eerie. Riley stepped from the shadows, coats swaying, playing. Alpha turned, coyotes followed, melting into the dark. Riley waved, gone. Silence broke. Goats relaxed, birds chirped at dawn. Balance settled. The HOA morphed into a laid-back harmony council. Lily's blog, siren stories, hit podcasts, comics, even a quiet streaming deal. The siren stood golden, a legend. I walk the ridge now, wondering if Alpha's out there. For now, goats graze, life hums, and the siren waits ready, just in case.